Today is Texas Independence Day, and this is CBS 11 News at 4:30. The ones for Texas.
Right now at 4:30, mourning a fallen officer. Less than 24 hours after a violent attack in a quiet community, what we've learned about the Euless police officer killed in the line of duty.
Plus, waking up winners, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton take big leads on Super Tuesday, the big role Texas played, and what it means for the rest of the race.
And welcome home. A record-setting trip for an American astronaut in space finally comes to a close. Today is Texas Independence Day, March 2nd, 2016. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Russ McCaskey.
And I'm Karen Borda. Super Tuesday is in our rearview mirror now, but we have new information in campaign 2016 since many of you went to bed.
Here's a quick look at what you need to know. Senator Ted Cruz won Texas, Oklahoma, and Alaska, with the polls there closing at 11 p.m. our time. But Donald Trump took home most of the rest of the states that were up for grabs last night, with one exception, Minnesota. That went to Marco Rubio.
And on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton took a commanding lead over Bernie Sanders in Texas. The former Secretary of State now has 1,001 delegates in her push for the presidency. She needs 2,383 to win the nomination. Our campaign 2016 coverage is just getting started. Coming up, a look at the local races, including some surprises. But first, your forecast. Meteorologist Scott Padgett's in the Weather Center now with more on that. Morning, Scott.
Morning, Russ and Karen. And taking a look what's happening right now, the satellite and radar combined, we have a little bit of cloud cover sitting over the state. Zooming our way on in. A couple of clouds are here or there, but I expect a lot of sunshine through the day ahead. Look at this, the 24-hour temperature change compared to this time yesterday morning. We're almost 25 degrees colder in some spots. So we had that cold front push through. We're in the upper 30s in Denton, to 49 in Fort Worth, to 45 in Allen, and 46 in Rockwall. Some of our cooler spots also stretching near Mineral Wells, Greenville, and Mineola in the 30s. So you'll need that coat this morning, but hour by hour today, a lot of sunshine is on the way. That warms you back up to 67 degrees right around about 11:30. On our way into the 70s again today, and that sticks around this week. But I'm tracking some higher rain chances. I'll talk about the timing of that in just a few minutes. Chelsea's here now with the timing on the roadways. How are we doing on this? Are we at Wednesday? Yes,
we're Wednesday. Yay! Halfway through the week. Everything's looking good out there for the most part. We do have one slow area, but before we get there, wanted to let you know about this area here of construction that was supposed to change yesterday. Eastbound 820 to northbound 35W. You're still exiting left. Now we're going to keep watching this because eventually this is going to change for you to exit right to go northbound 35W. Once that's in place, we'll let you know. I-30, you're going to see construction on the eastbound side. See these crews as they're working to pick things up in those express lanes, and then also to that far left lane, again, not causing the slowdown. Where we're seeing a little bit of delays on 635, really in both directions here, both westbound and eastbound, kind of by Northwest Highway. Now, I scanned through all the cameras. I didn't see a crash out there. I didn't even see construction out there. So I'll keep watching this for you. If it turns into a big slowdown, Buckner Boulevard's right next door. You can take that instead. Back to you.
All right, Chelsea, thanks. Now to a developing story. North Texans mourning the loss of a police officer killed in the line of duty.
It happened as Euless police officer David S. Hoffer answered a call about a possible shot fired. When he arrived, he himself was shot, and he did not survive. CBS 11's Joel Thomas joins us now live at Euless Police Department with the details of what we've learned overnight. Joel.
Well, we've watched this morning as police officers and law enforcement agencies from around the area have driven by and paid their respects here to this impromptu memorial, which was started yesterday evening and has grown throughout the morning. This all began when Officer Hoffer responded to a call about a suspicious person, and then shots fired at J.A. Carr Park in Euless. That was just before 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We're told as Hoffer approached the suspect, that man started shooting. He wounded Officer Hoffer before getting into a shootout as more police arrived on the scene. The violent attack sent schools nearby into lockdown mode. Rescue crews rushed Officer Hoffer to Baylor, Scott and White, and Grapevine. He had emergency surgery, but did not survive those injuries. We've learned Officer Hoffer joined the Euless Police Department a little over 2 years ago. Before that, he served 5 years with the New York City Police Department. He is survived by a fiance, his parents, sister, and brother. We're working to learn more about the man investigators shot and killed one of their own. That suspect himself was killed by officers. Coming up on CBS 11 News at 5 a.m., we'll hear from some of the witnesses who saw what happened. Reporting live, Joel Thomas, CBS 11 News.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. New this morning, a driver is dead after a crash on I-35 overnight. Officials say the victim's car stalled on the highway, so the driver pulled over. This was on the bridge over Lake Louisville. While they were outside, a van hit the car, which sent them over the bridge into the lake. Now, passersby pulled the driver out, called 911. The driver, though, died at the scene. The driver of the van was taken to the hospital with serious injuries.
All right, back to campaign 2016, and when it comes to the Republican nomination, the magic number is 1,237. Donald Trump took home the most delegates on Super Tuesday, including wins in a lot of the southern states here, including Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, Vermont, and Arkansas. Trump now holds 285 delegates, but Texas Senator Ted Cruz is hanging on to second place. On Tuesday, he added Texas and Oklahoma to his list of wins, where he has claimed a victory. Now, on the Democratic side, we're going to show you that map coming up a little bit later. We can tell you Hillary Clinton leads Bernie Sanders by hundreds of delegates. As we mentioned at the top of the newscast, the former Secretary of State is now up to 1,001 delegates to Sanders' 371. The Democrat needs 2,382 delegates to clinch the nomination.
Back to the GOP now. Ted Cruz hopes winning 3 states on Super Tuesday will give his campaign the momentum it needs to take down Trump. The Texas senator wasted no time making it clear he wants this to be a 2-man race. Cruz says the only way to stop Trump is for the other candidates to unite so he can challenge Trump directly.
So long as the field remains divided, Donald Trump's path to the nomination remains more likely. And that would be a disaster for Republicans, for conservatives, and for the nation. And after tonight, we have seen that our campaign is the only campaign that has beaten, that can beat, and that will beat Donald Trump.
But Trump says his wins mean he's on the way to expanding the Republican Party and giving, quote, the people what they want. Both Florida Senator Marco Rubio and Ohio Governor John Kasich insist they will stay in the running until the elections in their home states on March 15th.
Well, it was a big night for Hillary Clinton. She wrapped up Super Tuesday as the clear winner on the Democratic side. This morning, already looking ahead to the general election, her campaign is moving past the primaries and focusing now on Donald Trump.
Instead of building walls, we're going to break down barriers.
Vermont, billionaires do not buy town meetings, and in America...
But fellow Democrat Bernie Sanders isn't out of the race just yet. He picked up his home state of Vermont, plus Oklahoma, Minnesota, and Colorado. Sanders says he's in it for the long haul.
2 men vying for the top law enforcement job in Tarrant County will have to do it all over again. The race for Tarrant County Sheriff heads into a runoff. That's because incumbent Sheriff Dee Anderson didn't win 51% of the vote. Here is the latest look at the numbers. Anderson has 48.5%, while Bill Wayburn, the former Dalworthington Gardens police chief, is at 40.6%. The runoff election will take place in May. Sheriff Anderson and former Chief Wayburn head into a runoff election in May, as we mentioned. We're going to go right through that script. Let's just keep going. And yeah, Wayburn believes that the Ethan Couch case and Dee Anderson's role in that prosecution may have played a role in getting his name into the forefront of people's minds.
Let's move on to the hotly contested Dallas County Commissioner race, especially for District 3. That win goes to incumbent John Wiley Price. He defeated challenger Dwayne Caraway and other candidates to keep his seat. John Wiley Price has yet to lose an election. The county commissioner says that voters in his district did not fall for the campaign antics. Price is the political dean of county government, and despite a criminal indictment, the voters of his district have given him a hefty lead.
I just want to thank all of my volunteers, all of those people who didn't get dissuaded by the gimmicks. They understand governance, and they understand that we've provided governance for the past 30 years.
John Wiley Price's biggest opponent, Dwayne Caraway, congratulated JWP late last night but vowed to his supporters that he's not done with his work. You can stay with CBS 11. We are your Campaign 2016 headquarters on air and online. All of the race results are posted on our website, cbsdfw.com. Head there for a complete recap, plus our interviews with the candidates as well.
This morning, parents are on alert as police investigate an attempted abduction. A 12-year-old boy says he was almost kidnapped while walking his dog. It happened at about 6 o'clock yesterday morning on Roswell in the Willow Bend neighborhood in Plano. The boy says 2 men chased him, shouting, "Let's get him." The boy ran away and made it home safely. Police say he was not able to provide a description of the men. This morning, the Dallas City Council takes up the issue of the Exotica convention. City leaders will discuss the impending lawsuit filed by organizers behind the porn convention. Last month, the City Council banned the event from using the Kay Bailey Hutchison Center. The convention's organizers say the city's violating the First Amendment, and we will be at today's meeting and bring you any updates as well. 4 years after Allen ISD opened the most expensive high school football stadium in the state, McKinney ISD has unveiled plans to top it. Here's what it might look like. The renderings were presented to the school board last night. It's part of a $220 million bond package. The stadium would seat 12,000 people. The school board expects voters will approve the new stadium. The district says it can pay for it and lower its tax rate next year by 2 cents on the dollar.
We hope to draw a variety of different events, from playoff games to Drum Corps International to a variety of different things.
The bond package also includes money for fine arts, technology, and renovations. The district will vote on the bond package March 17th.
Well, today is also National Read Across America Day. It's celebrated every year on March 2nd, the birthday of writer and illustrator Dr. Seuss. UC San Diego went over the top with its Dr. Seuss Day celebration. The goal is to encourage kids and teens to read, but it's a reminder for adults too. Pick up an interesting book today and enjoy.
A reminder, it is Texas Independence Day. On this day, 59 delegates crowded into the river town of Washington and declared their independence from Mexico. Stay with us throughout the morning as we celebrate Texas history with facts and trivia about the founding of the Lone Star State.
Today, Texas is center stage as the Supreme Court takes up its first major hearing since the death of Antonin Scalia.
A Texas mother behind bars for child neglect. Why neighbors say there's more to this story than meets the eye.
Plus, a 90s television game is moving to the silver screen. Find out which Nickelodeon gem is making the jump next.
You're watching CBS 11 News, the ones for Texas. We'll be right back. The 10 sailors briefly held captive by Iran in January may soon be disciplined. That's for mistakes they may have made that led to their capture. An official familiar with the Navy's as yet unreleased investigation spoke confidentially. It found the sailors made repeated errors which led them into Iranian territorial waters. That's according to the official. Among other things, they reportedly failed to conduct a standard operational briefing before setting sail. The sailors were then captured and reportedly blindfolded and interrogated during their detainment. Chris Christie is coming under fire in his home state as 6 New Jersey newspapers call for his resignation. The papers issued a joint editorial Tuesday demanding the governor step down. The move follows Christie's failed presidential bid and endorsement of one-time rival Donald Trump. After a string of failed attempts to take down Mississippi's state flag, attorney Carlos Moore is filing suit against the state's governor. The suit claims the flag violates the equal protection and due process clauses of the 14th Amendment. The flag includes an emblem that displays part of the Confederate flag. Moore wants the flag to be taken down from display on public lands.
In just a few hours, the U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments on the legality of a Texas abortion law. It's one of the first big cases that the Supreme Court will hear since the passing of Justice Antonin Scalia. The law, called HB 2, passed back in 2013. It requires abortions be performed in ambulatory surgical centers and that doctors have admitting privileges at a nearby hospital. It's a law that some say contributed to the closure of half of the abortion clinics in the state. It also propelled State Senator Wendy Davis into the national spotlight during her 11-hour filibuster of the bill.
A Lubbock mother was arrested and charged with child abandonment after her daughter was found wandering around an apartment by herself. 42-year-old Shauna Bennett was arrested this weekend after police found her 3-year-old daughter in the apartment by herself. They also say the child had on dirty clothes and was covered in bug bites.
She's fallen on hard times and she works nights. And so she's very tired every morning. And the little girl is just high enough to open the door and get out.
Perry says Bennett is a single mom and has been struggling recently. Child Protective Services took the 3-year-old girl into custody at the time of the mother's arrest.
3 San Francisco sheriff's deputies will face charges for allegedly forcing inmates to fight each other. The fights happened at the county jail last March. One inmate was injured. One of the deputies reportedly told them if they didn't fight, they'd be handcuffed, pepper sprayed, stun gun shocked, or beaten. Authorities say that the other deputies did not intervene.
We call this sort of a Game of Thrones gladiator fight because it really was, done for jest, and that they were betting money on the winner.
The deputy who threatened the inmates no longer works for the county. The three were given 48 hours to surrender to authorities.
Now to a health alert. Researchers say a man contracted a drug-resistant form of HIV while taking a drug designed to keep him healthy. Doctors in Toronto say the patient is the first known to have contracted the virus while taking the preventative drug cocktail. Truvada is estimated to be 99% effective when taken 4 times a week. Doctors say they believe the virus was drug-resistant when it was contracted rather than evolving after transmission.
Health officials are worried as they expect the Zika virus to infect 1 in 5 people in Puerto Rico. Officials say that there are already 117 confirmed cases in the U.S. territory. This comes as Puerto Rico battles a debt crisis, which has cut public programs, including basic health and environmental control services.
Here's a Way Back Wednesday for you. A classic 90s Nickelodeon show, Legends of the Hidden Temple, is set to come back as a TV movie. In Hidden Temple, 3 siblings must conquer a series of obstacles to remain alive, mirroring the theme of the original game show. According to Variety, it was promoted as part of a presentation about its upcoming programs, which include a Hey Arnold TV movie. Executives also pitched a docu-adventure series featuring Carolina quarterback Cam Newton called All In that would downplay mean-spirited competition. We'll talk about show-stopping fashion, or more like flight-stopping. At Maryland Airport stopped a woman because she was carrying gun-shaped stiletto heels in her bag.
According to a transportation security agency spokesperson, the woman was stopped at a security checkpoint. The shoes were complete with faux bullets fastened around the soles. They were in her bag and her carry-on. She even had coordinating bracelets. The agency prohibits passengers from carrying replicas or ammunition through security checkpoints. TSA says that the woman surrendered them at the time because it was too late to put them in her bag.
All right, it is 4:49. Let's go to Chelsea. How are those roads looking, Chelsea?
They're looking pretty good out there. We're just seeing some construction. So 35 East southbound over at Fox, you're going to see that frontage road and then also that exit closed. This is over by Business 121, so that's why you're going to see those flashing lights out there. This is going to remain closed all the way through 6 a.m. I'll keep watching it, but for now, since you have those main lanes to work with, we're not seeing any big delays. President George Bush Turnpike southbound over at Beltline, partially blocked out there. You're going to see at least 1 lane just for some restricted flow, not construction related, minor wreck. And then 35E traveling southbound approaching Garden Ridge, we also have 1 lane taken away. Again, we're still seeing all green in those areas, but then look at 635. We're seeing a slowdown over by Centerville, mostly on that eastbound stretch. We saw it really in both directions here just a few moments ago, but I keep looking at the TxDOT cameras and there is no construction out there. So if anything changes, I'll let you know. No reported wrecks at this time either. 183 over at American, which is just west of 360. We're also seeing that left lane taken away. If you're catching a flight right now, still looks green. If that changes, I'll let you know. Let's check in with Scott.
Thanks so much, Chelsea. And it is a cooler morning when you're stepping on out of the door at 4:50, almost 4:51. We do have some cloud cover sticking around, but I expect a lot of sunshine today. We're now at 47 in Little Elm to 44 in Louisville, but we're in the upper 30s in Denton. So the north side's in the Metroplex, low 40s in McKinney showing up. And then through parts of Tarrant County and Dallas County, we do have 37 in Keller right now to 39 in Southlake, which are normally our cooler spots in the morning. It is 41 in Garland right now to 39 Lancaster. Downtown Dallas about 46 degrees. It's the same story across North Texas with a couple of clouds working their way on through. I expect to see mostly sunny skies today, but take a look at this. The 24-hour temperature change is colder. You can see it's colder by as much as 23 degrees in some spots of North Texas. That cold front worked its way through. Dry air is going to be in place hour by hour today. We'll make it into the low 70s, and it's going to be a breezy afternoon. High temperatures, low 70s. Our west counties possibly near 80. Eastern counties, low 70s to the upper 60s up near Paris. Remember, the average high is 64. So the cold front worked its way all the way down to the south. So we have dry air that is in place. And with that dry air in place, we do have the fire danger kind of going up. Fire weather watch is out towards our west counties through the day ahead because of really dry air in place and breezy conditions. The dew points right now are sitting in the low to the mid 30s. So there's that dry air that I'm talking about. And take a look at how the winds are going to be gusting going through the remainder of the day ahead, especially in our northwest counties, gusting up possibly to near 25 miles per hour. So that's just adding that fire danger concern in the forecast. Now, looking ahead into next week, we're going to have this upper system work its way through. And with that system working its way on in, we're going to be dealing with rain chances on the way. Next few days remaining nice and dry, mid 70s for Friday, Saturday, and then you can see Saturday night all the way through Tuesday. Our pattern switches, Russ and Karen. We have a 60% chance of rain next Tuesday.
Ooh, I better get my car washed now. Okay, thank you, Scott. Still to come, back to Earth after being among the stars. We catch up with American astronaut Scott Kelly, just back from the International Space Station.
And then all new at 5 o'clock, protecting your dog from coyotes, the fashion accessory that one company says will keep them safe.
Well, he is finally back on Earth. Astronaut Scott Kelly touched down in the Kazakhstan desert after spending a record 340 days in space.
He was accompanied by 2 Russian cosmonauts, but Kelly appeared to relish the feel of the cold but fresh air on his face.
Rangers start play in the Cactus League today. First chance to see our boys take on someone else. Colby Lewis will pitch this afternoon. Derek Holland will take the mound tomorrow. For Holland, fun and games are over. In 2011, when the Rangers went to the World Series for the second time, he won 16 games. It's time for him to get back to that level.
Injuries are gone. We're worried about 2016, and I feel very confident, very happy with the way things are going, and staff is doing an unbelievable job of keeping me where I need to be.
High school basketball playoffs, Martins Mill High School, located in Ben Wheeler, Texas, taking on Blue Ridge. This season, senior Davis Moore from Martins Mill set a high school national record for most three-pointers made in a career. And with last night's win, Martins Mill is 2 wins away from a trip to state.
It really kind of hasn't sunk in yet.
If you could see his work ethic and his workouts every morning, it's unbelievable. He's the definition of what you want in a point guard and his character. And
my teammates keep passing me the ball. I could go 0 for 20, and they'd still yell at me if I didn't shoot it.
Little man, keep on shooting, making those big shots. Davis, we're pulling for you all the way. I'm Keith Russell. That's a look at sports.
And we're just minutes away from CBS 11 News this morning at 5. Coming up, complete Super Tuesday coverage, including the big race now headed for a runoff. Plus,
we're following a developing story after a U.S. police officer was killed on the job. The call that turned deadly at a city park.